Hi class, this video is to discuss levels. Levels define stories and other vertical heights, such as the parapet or other reference heights like top of steel, basement, second floor, within the building. The default template includes 2 levels. So if we were to start an architectural template right now, and we went to the east elevation, you would see that it automatically creates 2 levels. Level 1 is at 0 feet 0 inches, and level 2 is at 10 feet 0 inches. You can add as many levels as you need to for a project. The levels can go up or they can go down, so they can be negative. Say you had a basement and it was at negative 12 feet, we could make a level for that. You must be in an elevation or section view in order to create levels. So if you take a look, if I click in the floor plan view, up here, level is grayed out because I cannot create levels in a floor plan view. I have to be in either an elevation view or a section view. If you were to constrain an element to the top of an object, say a wall, it would always move with the object, and I'll show you that in just a minute. First, let's talk about how to create levels. So we're going to open the east elevation, and in the architecture tab, this is the architecture tab, under the datum, we're going to click on level, or we can type LL on our keyboard. When I click on level, an options bar for the levels come up. So make sure you're working slowly and thoughtfully in Revit so that you catch these option bars. So I have the option here to make it a plan view. If I keep this checked, which I'll keep it checked right now, it's going to make an associated view down here in the project browser. So let's go ahead and create a new view. To create a new level, we're going to click from left to right. And you'll notice that this blue dashed line pops up when I get the level aligned to the other levels. So I always want to do that. You don't want it to be real sloppy and have it over here. That doesn't look good. You want to make sure that they're always lined up. And that's something that would be expected of you if you were working in an architecture firm or any other firm where you were drafting. Okay, so now you see that when I drew that level, level 3, it created a level 3 right here in my project browser. Now, there might be instances where you want to create another level for reference, but you don't want it to make a plan view in the project browser. So if that's the case, say I wanted a level and I just wanted to use it as a reference level, I would want to uncheck make a plan view. So now watch when I make the level, a few things happen. One, you'll notice it didn't make, this is called level 4, but there's no plan view over here called level floor. Also, this level has a black datum on the side of it. This indicates that there is no plan view associated with that level. Let's say you wanted to change the heights of your levels. So right now, this one's level 2 is at 10 feet, but level 3 is at 22 feet. Maybe I want it to be all 10-foot increments. So you can click inside of this box right here, and then you can just simply type 20 feet and hit enter, and it will move that level. Same thing with level 4. If I wanted this one to be 30 feet, I'll just type 30 feet in the box and then hit enter, and it will move that level. You can also use dimensions to move the levels, but I find just clicking right inside of this dimension box on the level is helpful. Okay. The other thing is, say that you didn't line your levels up when you created them, and one was over here, away from the other ones. To align the levels, you click on the level line, and then there's this open circle at the end right here. And it says modify the level by dragging its model end. So it's neat because Revit always tells you instructions if you just hover over the object. So I click that, and you'll see it selects the endpoint, and then I'm going to pull it towards the other level marks until I see that blue dashed line, and then I'm going to release my mouse. once you have the levels, you can lock them in place, and then that anytime you move them, it moves all of them at once. The other thing to notice about the levels is that you have this little checkbox that pops up right here, and it says hide bubble. So if I click that, it takes the bubble off. I can also make the level appear on the other side if I check that checkbox, so I can have the level show up on both sides or either side. So if I didn't want it, if I only want it on the left, I could remove it from the right. One thing I will caution you about is using the copy tool. So if you use the copy tool sometimes and you copy up a level, it doesn't always create a associated view with it. So you'll notice that when I just copied level 3 up, it made it a level that does not have an associated view. So just be careful if you do use the copy command. One other thing we can do with levels is change the name. So if I click on the level, I can change it here in the properties box. So say I wanted this to be called first floor, and then I hit apply. When I do that, it says, would you like to rename corresponding views? So remember that level 1, this datum line, is it related to the floor plan level 1 that you see in the project browser. So if I say yes, I would like to rename it, it's going to rename it first floor here and also first floor plan right here. Okay, so you may not always understand the commands that pop up. You can Google them. You can just try hitting yes or no, and you can always hit undo if something doesn't work for you. One more thing we'll discuss with levels is sometimes they get a little too close together, so I'm just going to pull this way down and you can't read them. So I can't read this first floor anymore because the 2 feet is in the way. If you click on the level line, there's this little elbow that pops up. See, it says add elbow. If I click on that, I'll end a little bend in my datum line so that I can now read level 2 and I can read first floor.